Hi, everybody. I think so. It's good evening now. And let me introduce myself first. My name's Anand Bhanushali. Uh, I represent a studio from Pune called Film CGI. We are a VFX and animation studio uh, that does a lot of work for Europe, that is a global market. We also do a lot of local work for Netflix, Amazon, a lot of bigger production houses in Bombay, Chennai, uh, all over India as well. Uh, so that's who we are. We are around 300 people divided between two cities, Pune and Kerala. And overall, yes, I'm here to represent Film CGI in Hyderabad for the first time. I will be kind of talking about Jubilee. I don't know. My first question to the crowd is: how many of you guys have seen Jubilee, the show which is on Amazon Prime? Perfect. I have some hands, and I know a few known hands also. I don't want your questions, Ravi. So good. I think so. This session is more, anyways, relevant for people who have seen it and not seen it because I'm going to be more stressing on the point of certain people in production when we are doing VFX, when we are doing OTT shows or feature films, any kind of shows on the big screen or the TV screen. There are few people who are the most integral and important part of production, and my session is more to talk about how important these people are in terms of fluid communication, in terms of fluid VFX, in terms of fluid production designs, art designs, shoot, VFX shoots to actual shoots, and the post production as well. So before I talk too much, I'll in fact I know. Let me just show you guys our studio reel, which is shows a compilation of some of our latest work that we have done in CGI. Post that, I'll also show the VFX one as well.
We have to do something! Huh? We did it! Come on, Corsairs!
Thank you. So I'll also be showcasing some of our latest VFX work across done on many projects across India. you. Okay. So just to talk a bit about ourselves, we are multiple award-winning studio. We have worked with a few of the biggest production houses in Europe. 300 plus people spread across 2 cities. We have delivered more than 75 plus projects. Uh, we also do our own IPs as well. We have done a couple of co-productions with France and Belgium. We've delivered more than 4,500 minutes in animation, which is huge because of course, across 10 years. Uh, Done more than 6 feature films, again, fully animated for the global market. So these are few of our latest work. Of course, I don't know whether again you guys have seen Kala Pani, which has just released a week back on Netflix. Archies, which is releasing very soon. We have Jubilee, which is we are going to talk about. Few of some of our latest projects again on Netflix, on theaters, TV channels as well. Now, I think, this is the main topic for me for the day, the importance of quad. Uh, so, what I'm trying to make my point here is that, with Jubilee, uh, we in fact shot Jubilee during COVID, and it was one of the most difficult experiences because obviously right from having COVID tests almost every second day to wearing these whole suits and going for the shoots. But the best part that started in Jubilee was before COVID, when VFX studios. Now, what I'm trying to say here is we were involved in Jubilee right from the start, right from the initial days of script with the director. So, in fact, we were doing jamming sessions with our directors. We were doing, with the art director, with the DOP, VFX director, all of us. So, what was the importance of all these jamming sessions that we were doing? We were trying to figure out the director's vision. Of course, he wanted to create a show which is in 1940s and 1950s, which is showcasing Mumbai of that era, which is showcasing Lucknow of that era. And of course, we don't have that today. We don't have a lot of buildings in Bombay which were landmarks at that time. So, one of the most difficult shows to do. At the same time, director wanted wide angle streets. He wanted to show the entire Bombay. He wanted to show Lucknow, and we had a budget. So how do we do that? We can do that by discussions. We can do that by understanding first what the director's vision is. We as a VFX company, of course, we had our own VFX director who was on board. We had the DOP, we had the art director. So we would all jam up and understand, do rough storyboarding, do rough previs to understand what would be seen in Bombay, what kind of cameras do we use, what kind of lenses do we use, what kind of shot language do we use for a sequence. I will show that through a breakdown of 2 shots, which you of course saw in the reel as well. One of the ship shots, I will be talking through that, and the other would be showing you the Bombay street. That was one of the most grand shots that we had with what Jubilee opened. In fact, if you have seen the episode, it's in the first episode. Of course, like any project, it all starts with research. It all starts with R&D. It all starts with ideating. If we are talking about 1940s, if we are talking about 1950s, of course, none of us were born there, right? So we were searching for landmarks. We were searching for things like what would make audience understand or make them nostalgic about the old Bombay. Showcasing those kind of buildings in the background. So these are few of the kind of old archival footages that we have been. Only a few means, of course, we have 16 gigabytes of data in terms of research, but just to show you guys an example. We also went through, again, a classic example, Metro Cinema in Bombay, one of the most iconic theaters. These are again the Chhatrapati Shivaji railway terminals. So we wanted to kind of capture that essence of Mumbai. Again, same for Lucknow. We went through details like, so our director, that is where again we come back with the jamming session that are 4 people. Our director was very specific. He told us initially that I want to show even the hoardings that were in Mumbai at that time. I want to show brands that were running at that time. I want to show shops that had those billboards that audience would relate to. So if you see, this is one of the iconic buildings in Bombay. This is a digital asset of that. Now, if you have a look at the blue screen, that is the first floor, from ground to first. That's what was constructed by the art director. Now, how did that happen? How did a art director, a VFX supervisor, a DOP, and a director choose that, okay, we are only going to make this much in our set, rest is going to be VFX, rest is going to be max or whatever. Now, exactly, because we did actually detailed previs before we started. Rough blocks, what is previs? Now we are, previs is pre-visualization before you even start a shoot, or rough storyboarding means it is a upgraded version of storyboarding is what I call. You put blocks of buildings, you put rough characters which are in gray, you take your cameras and you start shooting in Maya, in all digital form, to figure out your cameras, to figure out your angles, what they are. So this is another archival footage from Bombay. Now, can anybody relate to the brand called Murphy TVs? So exactly. So by the way, this is not an archival shot. This is actually CG. This is created entirely on the computer. Why I wanted to show this is, and in black and white, is we took all our photographs, we took all our CGI that we created, we made it black and white. We put it side by side to all the old archival footages that we had, to figure out the kind of graining, or to figure out the kind of does our CGI kind of seamlessly blend with the actually shot things. So in this production, as I said, we were during COVID times. We also had to kind of limit ourselves to using limited sets. Like most of our sets were indoors, because during COVID, of course, there were only limited people allowed. So we tried to use a LED technology in 2020 with not, I know the gentleman before me, Annapurna Studios, he gave a fantastic presentation. He has a virtual production setup as well. But unfortunately, we were all in lockdown. So we got LEDs, we tested it for all the car shots. So whatever assets we made, right from buildings to streets of Bombay to Lucknow, we ported it to two things, Unreal, and the other part would be Redshift. So Unreal assets were used in shoot live with all the car shots. Now to remedy that, also what we did is we did a previs. So I'll just show you an example and talk through it. It's a simple rendition of all the kind of buildings that we are using with normal light setups that we do in VFX. So these are some of the buildings of Bombay that we created. Again, we created all these buildings with limited assets because we knew our budget would be limited. And we did the Lego technique. We kept, we made a street which was almost in Maya units 2.5 kilometers long, and kind of made this whole Bombay street. Again, a very, very standard process in VFX, nothing new. But again, I'm trying to, kind of show you guys more, approach. This more important is the approach, how you do it. So this is a previs where, exactly, now these buildings are plotted. We have a street. We are creating rough previous. Now again, this was a good example because we didn't want to add so much of detail in Mumbai. Our director was going to shoot very close cameras. Backgrounds would be blurred. So yes, no point of adding so much of details. No point of wasting so much of effort, because again, we were trying to save money wherever we could. And one of the backgrounds on LED, this is exactly what was projected on the LED. Now this is Lucknow. You can see, fully populated street, good textures. But again, we are not adding so much of detail. We are not, really spending days and days of fine tuning the textures. What we did is we just experimented with the different timing of the day, evening, overcast, so that if our director wanted to shoot night scenes, we knew there were night scenes in Mumbai. We knew there were rain. Of course, there was a sequence full with rain during the monsoon. So we just experimented with all that on Unreal. So you can see, means again, we are not, we know that some of the textures are standing out. There is a lot of specular, but none of that is going to be seen because finally you are inside the car. So again, now I'm going to show you breakdown of this classic shot. If you, I can see more people, so at least I'm happy here. If you guys have seen Jubilee, this shot appears in the first episode. So this is the input plate that we shot. Now I'll pause it here. What did we decide here? We told the art director, of course, when we are jamming up, the art director, VFX director with the director, now he wanted to take the shot, he wanted the tram. So we knew our budget is limited, so we told him, okay, what the best part about British architecture is that you have these skirtings on the first floor. All of them have it. So we figured that out with discussions with the art director. We told him, you know what? You only make till that skirting. Because if we get the skirting, we can seamlessly blend all the buildings. We don't have to struggle for, really finding that seam. So this is an example of an input plate here. No, this is shoot. Yeah, that is what I'm saying, input plate. So this is what we shot. But what we are trying to do here is we are trying to figure out our planning. Now that is what I'm stressing more here for a lot of people, that what we miss is actually the planning. What the Jubilee is one of the most smoothest shows Amazon has ever seen, because there was no back and forth, nothing. We just seamlessly finished the show with VFX, with shoot, no back and forth. The director knew what we are doing on the sets. Everybody knew what we were doing on the sets. The art director knew what he had to build. The DOP knew what he had to shoot, what kind of framing he would be doing. So that's what I'm stressing more here. The breakdown. So again, we can see a classic example of skirt. So if you see the whole hotel, Majestic Hotel, now the skirting and all we built is this. So we didn't have to really spend time on kind of figuring out. See, skirting helps us, done seamlessly out. The first floor, this, if you see this area, see this whole skirting part. So only the sets were only built till that. All the live action sets. Yeah, exactly. Again, I will play this so this is more clear to you guys. So this is what was shot. Now you can see this. See, this is the set that we shot in. Everything is CGI. Yeah. Seamless blending. Seamless blending. But this is only possible when you know your art director is on the same page. That is what I'm talking about. And your director, because we are all discussing how to do VFX with limited money, but still delivering global VFX quality work. So this is the final output. So again, I am going to show a classic example of this shot. Now, this shot, when we decided initially in planning, the director wanted to shoot it near water. So he wanted to show sea. He wanted to show, a little upper camera. So, this is where, again, our planning helped. We told the director that, guy, we don't have budget for this. We can't do expensive water simulation. So what do? We advised him to go more flatter on the camera. We again told him, we'll shoot a empty ground. So we recceed a set, a location in Bombay near the ports, which had sea, but then we went back. We told him, no, this is not going to work. Let's go back to an empty ground. Let's do a Reiki, find a new location. So this is what you will see now with the input plate. So what we did here is we obviously had a motion control camera rig, and we shot different parts of crowd. We had money was for 200 people, and we had to show 5,000, 10,000 people, right? Offloading from the ship. So we did motion control rig. We kept shooting layer after layer in this. Now this is exactly the build-up of the whole scene. Now if you see, we smartly didn't take the camera that up. We avoided the water by a huge margin. We put CG elements which were obviously seamlessly blending with the live action props also that you see on the foreground. And the final output, sorry, I think so I went a slide. This is the final output that we have color corrected. We had some stubborn goats and cows that wouldn't want to move, so we had to make our life around it and kind of put a crowd. So if you see, the background crowds are all CG. We have layers and layers of crowd that we shot. So this ends my presentation. I am good on time. So I am going to show the final piece over here, the entire reel that we made for Jubilee breakdown. It's on Amazon as well, but I think so it will be good for you guys to see a lot of short breakdowns here. Sound. Can we have sound, please? So yes, I think so. We have 8 minutes left for Q&A. Okay. We have some hands. Guys, can we pass the mic? So I'm expecting maybe two questions over here. Ravi and Rajan. No, not yet. I've already had a deal with Ravi. Yeah, yeah. Hi.
Firstly, my name is Nalin Savara. I'm from Delhi, and I totally loved your talk. It was mind expanding and heart touching. So my compliments on that.
Thank you.
And I understand that you'd be one of the leadership team in that studio.
Right.
So what exactly is your role in your studio, and how did you evolve to this? Because when you say the art director has to be on the same page, I assume that the art director also would be one of the founding associates of the studio who grew with you and grew with the studio.
No.
So I'm just trying
No,
to
not
understand
this is
that.
a good question. Means I'll divide this question into. Firstly, I all my life I have been an artist on the tech side. So I'm a tech creative guy. Always been involved with CGI, VFX in terms of simulations, particles, hair, cloth, all the eye candy stuff in our language, what we call it, and difficult and money pouring stuff. Of course, I design pipelines as well. I have done that for 10 years in my earlier studios as well. In film CGI, my role is more on operations because I founded the studio. So unfortunately, my role changed. I'm more on the operations. I look into projects, how they are executed. I look into the building of the pipeline. I look into how technology is used, how I can, in my contribution, make artists' life easier in our studio as far as technology and use of things is concerned. Now, the second question, art director. We didn't need the art director. There were 5 art directors on this show, 5 different ones. None of what I'm stressing here is that VFX studios need to be involved from script, which does not happen. I have my few colleagues, they know it. Doesn't. And you know what? We get actually shot EXRs and then we are told to clean the junk, isn't it? So that's not a good way of using VFX. VFX is an enabler. You can do much better images and add value to your storytelling, to your direction, to your script, to your concept, if used in the right way. And what is that use? I'm just saying importance of art director, DOP, the VFX director. I don't want to call a VFX supervisor. There is a reason, because I think so. It's about time that we call VFX supervisor VFX director, because he's the most important part in VFX, and the director. These 4 guys have to kind of be involved from script. Of course, there is going to be a producer, there is going to be a costume designer, everything, but that comes later. But when you are actually sitting and writing and with your writer and figuring out, oh, director just said there is a war sequence and there are going to be 20,000 monkeys. No, if the director says that this is my vision, but you don't have the budget for it, you're going to do a bad job, right? So importance is planning.
Got it. That you have to be on the same page with regard to the goal.
Everybody
so if you are
in
showing
this
a battle where there are allegedly 20,000 monkeys, there are many ways of achieving that effect and that impact without necessarily putting
Yes.
20,000 animated bodies into a scene and
Exactly.
bearing
So
the cost.
everybody knows, director knows, okay, this is how I'm going to shoot. DOP knows, this is my frame, this is my foreground, this is my background, this is my background. VFX guys knows, okay, this is what I have to make a mat. And the art director knows there's a set I'm building for the war. So my point is, again, exactly, to be involved, for production houses to be involved right from the start. If you guys are doing your own projects, involve every aspect of your filmmaking. Every person who is going to contribute to that is, again, it's planning. And you can do much better VFX or CGI with limited money, believe me. It's all about planning. How you shoot, how you post-process it.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I have 3 minutes left, guys. 2 more questions.
Hello, sir. So yesterday I was listening to Srinivas Mohan sir, who was talking about the making of RRR.
Right.
So he had also put a lot of stress on the fact that it's not just in post that you use VFX, right? What you said, that we need to use it right from previs and storyboarding. So there was a lot of like you said 5 art directors, so it would have been a lot of collaboration. And
Initially, yes.
so I'm assuming a lot of reasons why only the the first floor was done. Monetary reason, I suppose, to
No,
do.
no, it is planning. See,
No.
we wanted to have a seamless point.
Right.
What's the point of building the whole 2 floors or 3 floors when I know my cameras are the way they are? I know that I can find a seamless point of
Right.
the skirting that is there on the building. This is exactly I said. The VFX director gave the idea. Okay,
Right.
boss, why don't we build only this much? It's going to save money and it's going to look good. So
Right.
that's what.
Now, my point is, with the technology developing, whether it's VFX and the LED wall that we are already using, uh, is there a point you see that art direction, set building becomes redundant?
No, it does not. Believe
Okay.
me. I think so. As of now, I can say that we are maybe going in that direction, but not everything can be shot in virtual production. Means my colleague would obviously also agree that we have certain limitations on virtual production. Finally, it's a 2D screen. It is not 3D. So you have to understand that you can do exotic locations, but you are mimicking distance. You are going to put a actor in front of an LED screen that is hardly 10 feet or 50 feet away, whereas you are kind of projecting something that is like maybe in Star Wars or whatever. But that's what I'm saying. Not everything can be done in virtual production. It is going there. It is a lot of virtual elements are coming, but I don't think so there's going to be replacement for that.
Thank you.
Yes. I don't want this question.
Good efforts, Anand. Wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
And I can say that everybody will agree that it's a wonderful team efforts is here.
Thank you.
Best wishes and wonderful.
Thank you.
Big round of applause for Anand.
Thank you. Thank you. I still have 1 minute, guys. I think so. I can take one. We have one hand behind for the question right there. Hi. Yeah. I think so. Okay, we just lost 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Quickly, quickly. I have a flight to catch. You can give him my mic, yeah.
Yeah. So good morning, sir. Good evening.
Good
sir.
evening,
Sorry.
good evening, buddy. I think so. It's definitely not morning.
Yeah, sorry. So I am Aryan Sinha, and I just shot a short film recently. And my question to you is, how important is the coordination between the director and the VFX team overall, and your inputs on how to better coordinate?
See, it's exactly all my presentation is all about. I think so. I try to answer that in the best way. It is very important that you are involved from ideation, from concepts, because a director also needs to know what can happen in VFX, what is going to be hard to do in VFX, what is going to be easily you can shoot. Why are we doing VFX for unnecessary reasons? So, of course, it's very important that everybody, at least these squad people, these 4 people that I spoke about are involved right from the start.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I think the time's up. Thank you so much for being such an amazing crowd. And if any more questions are there, I know I have to rush to the airport, but I can maybe take a few when I'm down. Thank you.